The dining table shimmered under the golden chandelier, 12 chairs, one empty. Mine. I stood at the doorway, fingers trembling around the strap of my bag. My mother's voice was the first to slice through the silence. "You're late, Elena." Her tone was sharp enough to cut glass. My father didn't look up from his wine. My brother smirked, the same smug grin he wore since the day he took everything from me. I walked in, forcing a smile. "Traffic," I murmured, though my heart already knew this dinner wasn't about reconciliation. It was an execution dressed in crystal and candlelight. The air smelled of expensive perfume and hypocrisy. My family, the Prestons, weren't just rich, they were powerful. Preston Industries had been in our name for generations, and for years I'd worked beside my father, earning every inch of my place, until one day I wasn't family anymore. When I exposed my brother Daniel for embezzling millions, I thought I was doing the right thing. I was wrong. He twisted the story, forged emails, made it look like I had stolen the money. Father believed him, mother cried on command, and I, on the loyal daughter, was cast out. Tonight, after 3 years of silence, they invited me to dinner. I knew better than to expect an apology. I came for something else. Father finally looked up. "We need to talk, Elena." His tone was calm, rehearsed. I could almost see the boardroom posture beneath it. I nodded, taking the last seat. "Of course." He folded his hands. "You've caused enough embarrassment to this family. The company's reputation suffered because of your accusations. Daniel has worked hard to rebuild it." Daniel leaned back, smirking. "Some of us still care about the family name." My blood burned, but I stayed still. Father continued, "We're finalizing some legal documents tonight. Your shares in the company, they'll be transferred to Daniel. It's best for everyone." I stared at him. "You're taking away what's mine." "It was never yours," Mother said softly, feigning pity. "You lost that when you betrayed us." I wanted to scream, to throw my glass across the table, but instead I smiled, slow, steady. "Then I suppose I should sign." They didn't notice the tremor in my hand as I reached for the pen. Not from fear, from the thrill of what was about to unfold. A month ago, I found something my family never wanted me to see: the offshore accounts, the fake charities, the contracts Daniel forged in Father's name. I had spent every night since tracing every transaction, every shell company, every secret. The entire Preston empire was built on corruption, and tonight it was going to burn. I signed the papers. My brother smirked wider. "Smart move, sis." Finally learning your place, I met his gaze. "Oh, I know exactly where my place is, Daniel. Right where it hurts you most." His grin faltered. I pulled my phone from my purse and placed it on the table, face up. A red light blinked on the screen, the recorder. "You know," I said lightly, "it's funny. People will believe anything when the truth is recorded." Father's expression hardened. "What are you talking about?" "The truth," I said, tapping my phone, "about how Daniel stole millions from the company." Again. "About how the Preston Foundation is just a laundering scheme. About how you signed off on every dirty deal," Mother gasped. Daniel's hand twitched toward the phone. I moved it away. "Careful," I said softly. "You wouldn't want to break evidence already sent to every major news outlet in the city." For a moment, no one spoke. Only the crackle of the fireplace filled the silence. Then Father's voice, low and dangerous: "You think you can destroy us?" "I'm not destroying anything," I said, standing slowly. "I'm setting the truth free. The world deserves to know what kind of family hides behind these walls." Mother's eyes gleamed with fury. "You ungrateful—" "Ungrateful?" I laughed bitterly. "You disowned me to protect your criminal son. You ruined my life to keep your empire clean. But guess what? Dirt doesn't disappear, it just waits for light." Daniel slammed his fist on the table. "You don't know what you've done." "Oh, I do," I said. "I've done what you could never do: stand up to you." Outside, sirens began to wail in the distance. Blue and red lights flashed through the tall windows. The sound grew louder, closer. Father stood, panic breaking through his calm mask. "Elena, what did you—" "The authorities have everything," I said. "Every transaction, every bribe, every offshore account, and in about 5 minutes they'll have you too." Daniel lunged toward me, but I stepped aside easily. Years of anger had sharpened my reflexes more than he'd ever guess. He grabbed my arm, but the front doors burst open before he could speak. FBI, step back! Room shouting orders. My father's face drained of color. Daniel tried to protest, but the cuffs snapped around his wrists before the words left his mouth. I stood still, the firelight flickering against the chaos. One of the agents nodded to me. Miss Preston, your statement matched everything we found. Thank you for your cooperation. As they led my family away, my mother turned back, her voice trembling. Elena, what have you done? I met her eyes, the same eyes that once looked at me with pride, then disgust. I made sure none of you can hurt anyone again. When the last car disappeared down the long driveway, I sank into one of the chairs. The table was still set for 12. Wine still shimmered in half-full glasses. The illusion of perfection still lingered. For the first time in years, the mansion was silent. Truly silent. I reached into my purse and pulled out the old photo, me, Daniel, and my parents, smiling at a company gala years ago. I set it down on the table and whispered, You said I had no home left. You were right, but now neither do you. As I walked out into the cold night, the sirens faded into the distance. The wind carried the faint scent of smoke from the fireplace, the last breath of the Preston legacy. I didn't look back, because revenge wasn't about hate anymore. It was about peace. And finally, I had mine.